Looking down south of the border, Georgia voters are back at the polls for the second time in a month to decide a state senator. Democratic Raphael Warnock is pitted against Republican football legend Herschel Walker in the runoff vote after the midterm results were just too close to call. The bonus campaign has grown increasingly personal, and the result could have implications for how the parties view Georgia in the 2024 election. And John Misick is the editor of the Pennsylvania Capital Star, and he joins us now for a look at what's at stake. So, let's talk numbers here in Congress.
Sure. Bakari, Democrats have the majority they need right now with the election of John Fetterman, Democrat of Pennsylvania. But the important thing out of this is that this would give them, if Raphael Warnock were to win today, kind of the safety vote, it would give them 51 votes in the U.S. Senate. And what's important about that is that it will allow Democrats to bypass U.S. Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who has been something of a roadblock to the Biden administration's initiatives. Sort of blew up a lot of the administration's goals during its first 2 years in office. Sending Warnock back, along with the addition of John Fetterman, gives them the numbers they need, so that Manchin would not play the spoiler role that he's played in the past.
Okay, John, polls closed at 7 o'clock. They had record numbers for, early voting for this one. Do we expect to, find the answer tonight? And what do you make of all of this turnout, this publicity around all of this?
This has been an epic election for turnout. I was looking at the numbers before we jumped on the air here. Bakari, 1.8 million Georgians had early voted as of December the 3rd. And last week, there were 300,000 voters voting every day last week before early voting closed on Friday. It's a rainy day in Georgia today. Typically, bad weather usually keeps people away from the polls. That is turning out not to be the case, according to CNN, which has journalists on the ground there. The images of people standing in line in the rain, holding umbrellas, waiting to cast their ballots. You're seeing interviews with folks who said that, they weren't going to miss this one. And it goes, I think, really to how determinative this race is. You could not have a clearer contrast in two candidates between Raphael Warnock, who is the pastor at Martin Luther King's Baptist Church, and Herschel Walker, the football player who has said some dramatically unusual things during the course of this campaign. If you look at the enthusiasm in this race, more people are enthusiastic about Warnock than they are about Herschel Walker, and that could really make the difference here at the end. That said, Georgia officials say they might not have results tonight, so we're going to have to wait and see.
John, this race got incredibly personal. I mean, you had Herschel Walker's son coming out, posting a video on social media basically saying, my father is not a good guy. He's not the guy you think he is.
Yeah, that was in relation to the abortion allegations surrounding Mr. Walker. He has the backing of former President Donald Trump, who has stayed conspicuously away from this race. The former president sort of being toxic in the midterms, but contrarily, you've seen former President Barack Obama coming to Georgia to campaign repeatedly for Raphael Warnock and going after Walker's fitness for office in no uncertain terms. You've even had Republicans who say and I think this was the state's lieutenant governor, in fact, who said he was the most dramatically unqualified candidate the Republican Party had ever produced. And that's saying quite a lot.
But then you have a lot of football fans that are going to support Herschel Walker. So, John, as we wrap up, how do you see this playing out?
It's going to be a late night in Georgia, I think, tonight, Bakari. And again, as officials down there are saying, we may not know who the winner is when we all turn off the lights and go to sleep tonight. And in the final analysis, this is going to come down to which candidate turns their voters out more efficiently. It's a narrow margin. It could go either way. I'm not going to make a call on this one, so we're going to have to wait and see.
John Misick, editor of the Pennsylvania Capital Star. I always feel smarter after we talk. Thanks a lot.
Happy to help. Talk to you soon.